Alrighty, welcome to the Sorted Pod. You're our very first guest.
Whoa.
How
Okay.
exciting.
Very exciting.
So, who are you? What do you do? Tell me a bit about you.
Who am I? All right. So my name's Ethan. I run Edit Life Media. We're a video production business that that mainly specializes in construction, real estate, and architecture. So I do a lot of houses. But we also do a little bit of everything. We do anything from corporate to drone work, to just basically any random job that comes along, we'll
Yeah.
kind of pick it up if it suits us,
Yeah.
and if it's actually worth it. Obviously, we won't just pick up
Yeah.
any single job that comes because
And a lot of stuff that I throw at you. that
yeah,
you
yeah,
probably
and
don't
and a
wanna
lot
do,
of
but you
random
do.
clients and jobs that Laura throws at me. Hence why
Yeah.
I'm here doing a podcast right now.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, you're not sorry at all. I know it. That's okay.
All right. So, let's talk a little bit about how we met and how we got here to being dragged into a podcast on a Monday afternoon.
Yeah, it seems weird actually to think that we're here doing this
Mm,
when we probably met. I think it was 7 months ago,
really?
6 or 7 months ago now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot longer.
No, not quite, because I'll be coming up on about 6 or 7 months. Do you want to?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are a part of a business networking group. Sometimes we joke about it that it's a cult. It's not a cult.
Everyone thinks it's a cult when you start explaining it.
Yeah.
Like, we give money to people and
Yeah.
then we get stuff in return sometimes. And
Yeah. They're like, yeah, you're in a cult. Is that a pyramid marketing scheme? I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no.
Not quite.
But anyways, we're in a networking group down on the peninsula. I'm originally from Mount Eliza and you're in Frankston at the moment. And yeah, you're the videographer for the chapter and I'm the social media manager for the chapter. So there's only one of each industry and that's how we sort of met. And I never really had a great videographer. I never really had a great video contact. I had a lot of photographers, but not much video. And video's really ramped up. So I think it was perfect timing. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
sort of, I guess, a very brief overview of how we met.
Yeah, it kind of worked out really well. And we've been working together since, and the relationship has kind of just built up even more. And
Yeah.
now we're here doing this, and we've spent the whole day together doing content and stuff, which is
Dragging you around the
it's
office.
yeah. It's
Million
kind of
outfit changes.
so a million outfit changes.
Yeah.
All I did was take off a shirt today.
Yeah. You've got it.
But
Got it good.
yeah. Yeah, but it's worked out really well. And yeah, I've worked with a few social media managers before, but
And what was that like?
it's a lot of them are hit and miss.
Mm.
It's kind of hard because they promise you all this work because they say that they've got heaps of clients, but then they're not really good at trying to sell the content part of their business to the clients.
Yeah.
Which is so essential for being able to post regularly and actually get something get something
Yeah.
back from the content that you're posting.
You
Is
need
actually
that constant supply.
it's having
Yeah.
good content.
Yeah.
And they just weren't quite good enough at really selling the content part of it. They were just good at selling their side of the business, which is fair.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
And I think that's where I understand the importance of video and especially to do it well. You can do a great social media page without video content. You don't need it, but to do well, you can do a good social media page, but to do a great social media page, you really need video. You can't get away without doing it.
Yeah.
Like you're just left behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since Reels have come into such big place, since TikTok really came out and then
Yeah.
Instagram introduced Reels. Like if you're not doing video content, then you just falling so far behind. It's crazy. It sucks because photos are a lot easier to make and post, but if you want to actually get something out of it, you've got to really be posting videos.
Yeah.
Video content. So the reason why I really actually enjoy working with you is because you actually run a good social media management business, which so many people, so many social media managers that I've met just do the odd post here and there for businesses, and they almost don't treat it like a business. They almost treat it like their personal page, and they just, they have a slight plan with it, and they'll just post random stuff. Whereas you actually come on with a full onboarding, call, and then actually talk everyone through the process, and then you have a really good process for posting for that client. Like I know because I'm a client of yours and you do all my socials. And so it was actually really nice when you took on my socials, because I could actually see that if I'm referring someone to you, because, obviously people ask me a little bit every once in a while, do you know someone that's good at socials? And I can confidently say, yes, go to Laura, because she will 100% be able to handle your anything that you want and actually get results out of that.
Yeah.
Because you're consistent and you're professional and know what you're actually doing, and you treat it like a business and you treat them like a client, not just like their personal page almost.
And that's a trend that I've seen over the years, because when I started over 6.5 years ago, no one was doing it.
Yeah.
There was maybe the odd agency that did a full-scale digital marketing agency in the side of socials.
Yeah.
So again, they were just doing it to keep people happy because they knew that they needed to be on socials, but they weren't doing a good job at it.
Yeah.
And then you saw the boom of influencers, and then everyone thought, oh, I've just got 50,000 followers on my personal account. I can take on your brand.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, hun, you can't. You've got absolutely no strategy. Posting your ass is one thing to get, growth on socials, but, a brand, they can't have that same growth because you've got, you're not leveraging the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's where my service is quite comprehensive. I tell, potential clients, current clients, it is a comprehensive service. If you want to do nothing in relation to socials, you don't have to. All you need to do is show up to a meeting for 30 minutes online every 2 months.
Yeah.
If you want to do the bare minimum, you don't want to touch it. And that's what I've got. I've got so many, generally males, in about their sort of 40s to 60s. They've never been on socials. They hate it. They don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't want to be about it. They don't want to spend the time.
But they know they need to do it.
They know that they need to do it, and they understand, they've got that awareness, and they've done some research, whether it's their colleagues or their business partners. They understand they need to be on there. So that way they can just handball it to me. They don't need to be on it.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Absolutely. No, it's so true though. Everybody that runs a business know that they need to do their socials, but it was the exact same with me. Like, I just didn't have time to do it, and I didn't want to do it because
you're busy.
Yeah,
you're
busy.
business.
Yeah, and it's like the last thing you want to do is have to post on socials, and or they try and do it, and they do it for like 2 weeks and go, all right, I'm going to put in a good amount of effort for 2 weeks, but then they don't see anything because it doesn't happen overnight.
And they go gun ho, and they're like, great, I've just smashed it.
Yeah.
Where are my results? And I'm like,
they get nothing out of it.
You probably won't have any because it's a long-term solution. It's not an overnight quick fix.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah, let's get back to, I guess, my onboarding, because you briefly touched on that.
Yeah.
So that is where, I've got a new client, they've signed up, and we then get to know each other really well, so I can make sure everything looks, feels, and sounds like, for example, you put it together on your socials, but in fact it was me.
Yeah.
So the way that I do that, in particular for content creation, is prior to them jumping on the call, we'll do like an onboarding form. And in that, they can upload any video or photo content they've previously got. Then they can actually tick what type of content they're after. So whether they want a bit of graphic design, user-generated content, stock images, or if they need a photo shoot or a video shoot. So that's where we sort of establish exactly what we're working with. And then that's where you come into the picture, is because I onboard the client, get to know them really well, and then say, hey, Ethan, we need 20 reels shot. Here's our brief. Let's get onto it.
Yeah, and it makes the process just as seamless as possible for the client as well, which is kind of the reason that they're coming to you in the first place, is because they don't want to handle all of that stuff. And then if our process was complicated and took forever and took up a lot of their time, then they'd go, well, this sucks. I could have just done this myself.
Yeah.
And so
people are busy these days. You want to make it as quick and as easy as possible, whilst doing a good job and a thorough job. And I think that's what we both do. I care way too much to half-ass anything. I've got a big heart and I care about businesses and making a difference, and your head's in the right place. And I think that's why we work together so well, because our morals and what we are about in and outside of work are very, very similar. And it's very hard to find people that you gel with like that. And I think our honesty and genuine care, it goes a long way in business, but it also goes a long way in working with people that you know, contractors and everyone, because work takes up a huge part of the week. It's a big part. And if you're constantly working with people that don't align with you and don't have the same morals, that'll either rub off on you and you'll start being like that, or it will just not sit well. So that's why I like to make sure that my team is all relatively on the same page. Kind of everyone that's like exactly like me. That'd be boring.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I want to at least agree on the morals.
At least, yeah, for sure.
So that is 100%. A big
100%.
reason why I do trust you with all of my clients, and I enjoy working with you, and it's not, you know, a headache.
Yeah, it's definitely not a headache. Some clients are a headache, but
we deal with that together.
Yeah, we deal with that together. It's actually really nice having someone else to rant to about the same client.
Yeah.
Just not all clients, and
no, we love you clients.
we love you. Please stay with us. We do work really well together, so that's good.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I think that covers a little bit of a background on our working relationship. Yeah. Why don't we jump into some questions that I've got here?
Cool. Love it.
Cool. All right. So video content.
Yes.
Most people have an iPhone. Not everyone. We've still got some Android users.
Yeah.
But most people have got a great phone with an awesome camera and they can film content. What's the benefit of filming high quality professional video content?
Yeah, so it's a funny question that I actually get asked all the time. And people saying, "Oh, do you think you're gonna lose your job soon because of AI and blah blah blah, all that stuff?" And the truth is, your socials. It's been proven that socials do better with some phone videos as well as professional content, especially for a business.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that a phone can't do is, I can make everything look professional, but the biggest thing that comes out of it is actually the editing side of things. Editing phone footage is hard and it's not anywhere near as flexible, and I can't quite get the same image quality out of it. But it's all of the other things. So you've obviously got coloring, you've got all of your graphics on it. Quality's better, so if I need to do a massive zoom in on a shot or something like that to crop something out, then I can do that. If I need to mask something out of the background because, you know, a person walks by or there's a patch of dirt or something like that, I can't do that with an iPhone an iPhone video, because there's just nowhere near as much information in that phone, in that video that comes out of the phone. Whereas I have a lot more information and a lot more data to work from my professional cameras. And it'll never look the same. Like the lenses that I use really make a huge difference in the look of it. Like we're shooting on professional cameras at the moment, and I can get nice background blur. I can get really sharp
should
faces.
Should we do some fun effects in the background?
Yeah, we should.
Should we remove some things right now?
Let's go to Hawaii.
Add them back on.
I did it on a real estate video the other day. Actually, I did a drone shot, and they wanted it to be a development site, and I chucked a screenshot into Photoshop, and I actually asked Photoshop to make it look like there's two houses on the block when there was only one house, and I overlaid it, and it actually looked really, really good, and it came out really well. And
how good.
And they were stoked on it. So
great.
There's just a lot of things that I can't do with phone footage that professional cameras help me get, and they just look better. Everyone knows they look better.
So. Look, I think you're bang on with, you can have both, you know, phone and
There's
professional.
nothing wrong with having phone footage on your business account at all. Like some of the videos will actually help your clients, but
and I think it's great, and I think especially with this big move, especially in the last 6 months, to be really authentic and real and not polished. That's more so TikTok, but I feel like it is creeping across to, Instagram, and it will slowly creep across to the other platforms as well.
Yeah.
But I think having a balance of both of those is really important. But I will always look at a professional video that's high quality and go, damn, that looks good.
Yeah.
And you can put it everywhere and it will just elevate your brand to another level compared to, a phone video.
Yeah, for sure. I think a big thing that a lot of businesses were scared of is that it makes it look like it's like a TV ad or something if they're using a professional camera. But that was only because all of the influencers were all just using phone footage, but now they've actually started to switch over to professional cameras because they're more accessible, they're easier to use now. And so it's even influencers that I hate using the word influencers, but people that do social media, even now, they're starting to switch more towards professional cameras as well. And so it's all just kind of starting to blend into one anyway. So.
And I think as well, I've had a couple conversations with clients thinking that potentially the more high quality content you get for socials, it might then look like an ad instead of socials.
Yeah.
I can understand where that's coming from, but I think it's the quality of what's actually in your photo or your video, then also your caption.
Yeah.
If it looks like the most polished stock image, of course. Yeah, it's going to look like an ad.
For sure.
Or if it's like this heavily edited graphic design image, that's going to look like a paid ad.
Yeah.
But if you just, present and you showcase yourself, I think there's no harm in doing that.
Yeah. The other thing is content is king. Like if the content is good and it's engaging and you can get a hook within the first 3 seconds that's really going to stop people, then no matter what it's shot on, you can shoot it on like a 1990s, film camera or something like that.
If you capture their attention, you've got it.
Yeah. If you can capture their attention and keep their attention, they're not going to care what camera you have. And so, it's all about the content. How do you see the role of social media evolving over the next 5 years?
Oh, it's going to explode.
Honestly.
Well, if we think about it, I started 6.5 years ago.
What was it like when you started?
When I started, there was like Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, and then there was Pinterest and Twitter. But they were more sort of American, England, Australia brands weren't getting involved with those. There wasn't nearly as many features that the platforms have now. Like they're just like way more juicy. You can do so much more with it. It was just very much chuck up a post, like, comment, message. That was really the extent of it. And it has obviously grown so much. The platforms are now so involved with what you can do with them, all the different features which make them more interesting and addictive in some ways. And that's why they've grown so much success and users, because they're so addictive to use. Everyone's on them. And I really didn't know if social media was going to stick around for this long. I didn't know.
I don't think anyone thought it was going to get to where it is now.
Yeah. Like I started my business and I was 19 studying commerce, and I thought potentially maybe I've just gone on like a niche and this is going to last a couple of years and I'll ride the high of it. But now I'm quite settled in putting all of my eggs in this social media basket. We've cut back a whole bunch of different services because I know that this is so important in this age for businesses in terms of their marketing strategy. If your marketing strategy does not include socials, I'd be a bit concerned.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think it's not your entire marketing effort, and I would never tell anyone just bank everything on socials.
No.
But it is huge. It needs to be there, and I think it's going to stick around, and I think it's going to keep evolving. And we've seen, new platforms like TikTok come in, and they've stayed around. They're still relevant. So we don't know if there's going to be more platforms that sort of do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always changing, and like we've just seen Threads come out as well, and that's slowly getting bigger and bigger. And you know, there's probably going to be one drop off eventually, and then another one will pop up, and it'll keep on evolving.
Yeah, and it's like even LinkedIn. That was primarily just to connect with people. Now you can post jobs on there.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's Seek's biggest competitor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So-
crazy to think about.
Yeah, and platforms are just adapting. And I don't know if you heard, I found out last week that Strava, the running app, is now considered a dating app. That's not even fitness
No
anymore.
way.
Not even
What?
kidding. So it's like these apps start as one thing and then they
Yeah.
transform over time with how people are using them.
Yeah.
So we don't know if, these
crazy.
platforms are going to stay the same or if they're going to evolve or maybe new ones come into the scene. But yeah, I guess
Wow.
that's what makes my job interesting.
Tinder's going to turn into a job seeking.
I don't know about that. Might be a little bit far-fetched.
Yeah. Maybe. Far out. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, let's talk about scripting for video content.
Yep.
Obviously, talking videos are so powerful.
Yep.
You can get across so much information.
Yep.
Do you script videos? If so, how do you do it? Is there a time and place for it? What's your take on it?
So I actually ask every single client what they think they will do better with.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say that they want it fully scripted out and I bring a teleprompter along and they just read the whole thing off the teleprompter and make it as simple as possible for them.
Yeah.
Other people know that they're okay in front of the camera and just say, no, I just want questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually really depends on the client.
Yep.
Every client's different. Every person's different.
Right. So it's quite individual. It's not just this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, it's super individual. We still obviously plan everything ahead of time and make sure that we have all of the questions ready if they want questions, or if they do want scripting, then we'll write the script fully for them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 100% depending on the client.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different. Some people scripting is easier to edit. Like fully scripted is so much easier to edit because I know exactly what's already there and they're not going to go running on a tangent and go for like 15 minutes long and have to try and cut it down to 30 seconds. Yeah, stop. But if I know that, if they know that they don't read very well and that they don't sound natural reading, then I just say, all right, let's do questions and we can cut it after. And I'll just just have to trust me in knowing that I'm going to cut out the best chunks possible and get rid of
you're trying to
the
make
rest
them
of
look
the crap.
good.
Yeah. I'm trying to make them look as good as possible.
Yeah.
And so, I don't want them to do something that they're uncomfortable. Where do you find most of your trending videos so that you want clients to mimic or do?
Yeah. So we are on Instagram and TikTok every single day.
It's basically your job just to scroll through Instagram.
Yeah. So Christina, our social media manager, and I are just back forth, sending new content, and then we'll see something that could be really great for our hairdresser clients. So we'll sort of, throw some ideas around that, and then we'll send other ones and be like, cool, the builders, they'll love this. Yeah. Cool, we could do this for Sorted. So we're just sort of back forth, jumping off ideas.
Yep.
And that's more what we see online just to draw some inspiration from. And then any other ideas that we sort of come up with, like we'll sort of work out how we need to either how we can get across one of our main content pillars, and then how we can sort of do that in an interesting way. So that's how we sort of generate our own video contents through our content pillars. And then, the rest of it's normally just some inspiration online and we'll tweak that.
Yep.
All right. So when I give you some clients I send you off, I'm like, hey, go film this.
Yep.
I always give the clients a bit of a pep talk in regards to how they need to turn up on the day.
Yep.
I always tell them, be caffeinated. If you drink coffee, if you have a tricky bev, go for it.
Don't come to me without a coffee already.
Yeah, you need to be energized. So I say, you need to show up with Steve Irwin energy. That's what I'm expecting from you.
Yeah,
no pressure, but that's where you need to be.
It's pretty hard to match, but yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what I say to them, and I really preface that as comfortable as what am I trying to say? Lost my wording now.
Lost it. Sorry.
But I tell them that the more comfortable you are in the room, the more comfortable you will be on camera, and it will look more natural.
Yep.
Sometimes people get so worked up with like what they've got to say, and yes, we've got to film this video and then we've got to go to the next one. And today we've been filming secretly.
We've been filming all day.
Yes. Yeah. But I've said to you a lot of the times, because we've filmed so much content, am I talking at you or am I talking to you?
Yeah.
So am I just getting the words out, or am I getting them out in a nice way that's exciting and, you know, conversational?
Yeah.
So I always have got that in the back of my mind because I know where it's going. I know it's going on social media. I know if it looks awkward, it's going to do crap.
Yeah.
So how do you get people comfortable and make sure that you do have the best outcome in terms of, you know, them sitting in front of the camera and not looking awkward?
Yeah, so a big part of my job, so obviously I always try and tell them to get a good night's rest before, because it is, like, if we're doing multiple hours of filming, it's tiring.
Yeah,
It's
we've been going
extremely-
since 7.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
guys have
nearly
been
4
here 6
o'clock.
to 7, yeah, and
Yeah.
like, we're stuffed.
Yeah.
It's huge. You really don't
Yeah.
realize how much energy it just takes out of you, and it's a lot of mental energy as well, because you're constantly trying to think and remember lines and think of, all right, how do we do this, how do we do that?
Yeah.
There's just so much to think about. So
number 1 tip, rest.
get rest.
Yeah.
Get a good night's sleep before. Have a good breakfast. Make sure you're fed through the day.
Yeah.
If you're hungry, then your brain's just not working properly.
Yeah, you're probably hangry as well.
Yeah. You're hangry. You'll
Yeah.
start getting angry at me because I keep on telling you, no, let's redo this, and
Yeah.
you're like, no, shut up.
Yeah, but you've got their best interest at heart. You know how it's
absolutely.
looking. So
Yeah. I know. I've done this so many times that I know exactly what the outcome is going to look like when I chuck it, like when I export it from my
and I
computer.
think that experience is gold because we could imagine we spent this entire day filming and it just looked like crap.
Yeah.
And it's like
Exactly.
you're so monotone and like you can tell that you're tired and out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm exhausted, but today we've gotten on with it.
Yeah, we've gone through it. And like, I can tell as soon as somebody is starting to lose energy, and I just say, all right, let's stop and take a break, because it's just not worth.
Go run around. Do some.
It's not worth us to still keep on going, because
No.
it's just going to look trash, and it's just a waste of our time, and it's not worth it.
And I think that's where I love working with you, because I'm like, cool, you've got the same, like, you know where the outcome is, and it's like you're not just going to do it for the sake of doing it, and then, you know, try and book them in for another photo shoot to redo content and get some more money out of them. It's like, no, you understand the goal. It's get good content for socials. You know where it's going.
Yeah.
So you're not wasting time. It's like, no, let's do this properly.
100%.
All right, so rest the night before.
Rest.
Be caffeinated and not hangry.
Yeah.
Eat as well.
Eat, drink, make sure that your body is just functioning as efficiently as possible through the day, for sure.
Yeah.
And then I think...
Any other like weird tips?
Well, not specifically, because every person's different, but a big part of my job is trying to coach people to be comfortable in front of camera, because let's be honest, not many people are comfortable being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this is our second shoot that we've done for you.
Yeah.
And you're getting better every single time, but it's just not a comfortable thing, because you don't feel like you're talking to anybody. You feel like you're stupid. You know, you don't want to be that person on socials, but you know you need to at the same time.
Yeah, it's really going in that mental battle of like, why am I doing this? This is stupid.
Yeah.
And then
It's a
being
huge
like,
mental battle.
oh, this is awkward. There's people here. People. Insert the meme.
Editor, do it.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of it is trying to coach them to be comfortable, just talking to... It feels like you're talking to nothing. That's the hardest part, is it's not like you're having a conversation with somebody. It feels like you're just blurting out words.
Yeah.
And so a big part of my job is trying to make sure that they feel like they're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And just getting them as comfortable as possible. So I try and make some jokes where possible. And I'm not a super funny guy, but we try. And
you got a bit of dad jokes.
Yeah, I've got dad jokes for sure. Yeah.
You've got it now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hayley.
Yeah, thanks, Hayley. It's Hayley's fault. Yeah, we'll blame her.
Yeah.
What are your favorite industries to work in?
Sorry, can you ask that again?
I don't know if you want to talk about this, but what are your favorite industries to have clients in?
Oh,
It's probably...
I don't think it comes down to favorite industries. I think it comes down to favorite people.
Yeah.
The people that you deal with.
What makes a good client then?
Oh, a good client is someone who's respectful. I've dealt with a lot of people that are very disrespectful, and I've learnt a lot over the years. Little naive 19-year-old Laura let people walk all over her.
Yeah.
Now, not so much.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So someone that's respectful, someone that, communicates, wants me involved in their team. I'm there to help. I'm not there to, take your money and do a crap job. I want to do a really good job, make a difference, and be a long-term solution to your business, because that's what you need for socials.
It's almost like they're hiring another employee.
Yeah.
But
you just,
obviously not as expensive.
Yeah, you're not having to pay, full-time wage.
Yeah.
Which is
Or
a video we're going to film soon.
Like yeah. We need to.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just, kind people. If they, understand what I'm doing and they're there to help me, that's great. And I've got some clients, like I had a client call on Friday afternoon. You don't really want to be speaking to people. Picked up the phone, ended up having a 40-minute conversation. 30 minutes of that was just personal chit chat. How are you doing? How was your holiday? What's going on with the kids? Like, just checking in. And then we got into business for about 10 minutes. Not even.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that's a good way to end a Friday. Like, he's a legend to work with. He's great. And yeah, it's just super easy. It makes it quick, easy. They trust you. You can just get on with your job and you feel like you've got their backing.
Yeah.